Sorry guys, I got off, so I'm just going to put it back on.
The third story of the buildings. Now, directly across, just behind us here to the top of the bluff, you'll see another old home. That's the McClellan house. Today it's a bed and breakfast, but in the late 1800s, that's where the McClellan family lived.
It's a bread and
Mrs. McClellan, she was a high society, socialite type individual. And after church on Sundays, she liked to bring her high society, socialite friends back to the house. Well, they'd have lunch and tea and look out over the water, and they'd be looking down on the island here. They would see the young people of Chattanooga. They'd be hanging out, carrying on, doing things they thought were highly inappropriate. Well, Mrs. McClellan complained about it. She complained to her husband, and complained, and complained. And finally, Mr. McClellan found himself left with only two options. Option one was throw Miss McClellan off the cliff down into the river. Option number two was contact the state and buy the island. So, happy wife, happy life, right guys? That's exactly what he did. Contacted the state, purchased the island. They actually cleared it off and raised cattle there for about 40 years. The only problem with that plan is this was before there were dams or any type of flood control on the river. So every few years the water would come up, wash away the farmhouse, and all the cows would go floating down the river. So they got sick of chasing cows in boats, left it in a trust for the Audubon Society, and that's why it is the way it is today. Now, for those of you that made it up here to our third deck, you may have noticed on the back of our canopy here, we've got a series of train whistles. Well, by themselves, they're just train whistles, but if you put them all together, they form a musical instrument called a calliope. There's only two places in the whole world you'll ever see a calliope. One's on a riverboat, the other's at a circus on a carousel. So would you guys like me to play a little calliope for you? Okay, I'll fire up the keyboard.
Yeah, on that side. That's why the street will be blocked.
So guys, that is that, and I'll pick you up tonight or when we get back to the hotel. Bye. Shout out to Lena Boy.